So the gifted sibling may be uncomfortable knowing that I am so much smarter, I'm so much more gifted in some areas, or I'm quicker, or I have more intelligent thoughts or creative thoughts. So I don't want to make my sibling feel so bad, so I will underachieve. He makes a reference to this in what we're talking about. The reverse, the non-gifted may feel very protective of a gifted sibling who is geeky. They use the word themselves, so it's not a negative term, but the non-gifted may know that my brother or my sister doesn't get along with others, sort of left out, sort of odd. People talk about it, her as being really odd. So I will do something to make me not look so good, so that there isn't that much distance between us, so she doesn't really stand out there if I'm having some troubles also. So let me tell you about two families that I've seen. Obviously, they're made up names. The first family, Marcy is 12. Marcy is gifted. She used to be very well behaved. She was well liked. She got along with teachers. But this year, her grades have dropped. She's been sassy with her parents and sassy with her teachers. Everyone assumed it was because she was 12 years old and she had just entered 8th grade, and that she was just uncomfortable about that. Parents brought me this. I met with the whole family. I met with Marcy and her brother. She has a 15-year-old brother, Larry. Met with them all together, and then I met with her separately at one point. And asked her what she thought was going on about her grades and her behavior change. Now, Marcy is gifted in verbal ways, so she was really able to tell me something quite remarkable for her age. She said, I know Larry was embarrassed, has been embarrassed for all these years, of asking me, his little sister, to help him with his homework. She's 3 years younger. And this year, what made it even worse, she says, is I know he liked Trixie. I'm sorry, that really was her name, Trixie. I know he liked Trixie, but Trixie started teasing Larry once he started gaining weight and broke out in acne. And she didn't want to hang around with him anymore. I know his heart was broken. I felt sorry for Larry. I couldn't do anything to make it better with Trixie. But I sure could make it so that he didn't feel like I was so much smarter than he. That's why her grades stopped. By the way, I really did make up that name, Trixie. I was embarrassed to tell you that I picked such a horrible name. Oh well. That's from a 12-year-old who really understood the protectiveness, that she loved her brother and she couldn't do anything to help him in some ways, but there was one thing she could do. Here's another family with 2 boys, both are gifted. John is 16 and Peter is 13. John is a math and a computer whiz. He totally lacks social skills. He is uncoordinated. He's always, in elementary school, he's always been last for sports. Nobody ever wanted him on a team. He's not well liked. Barely has friends other than in his little study group. His younger brother, he's sort of, he's ordinary looking. He's a 16 ordinary looking kid, wasn't filled out yet. You know some of them, right? His brother, Peter, not like the diminutive. Peter is 13. Peter's also gifted. But Peter is gifted with the social skills that our society values. He's cute, he's charming, he is athletic, he's lively, he hasn't gotten to that awkward stage yet. So he's just a charmer. In the fall, when Peter started the same school as John, he suddenly became withdrawn. Now, when I met with Peter, he is clearly not anywhere near as verbal as Marcy. So we did a lot of other things through play and whatnot, and what came out of what he was telling me, his own felt not as likable by being withdrawn. So these are just the thoughts about being different. Some of you, it may have passed out, I did pass out, some of you may have, some of you may not have, the poem for kids who are different. I would like to end with reading about that. I haven't changed one word to it from the original poem. Here's to the kids who are different, the kids who always get A's, the kids who have ears twice the size of their peers, and noses that go on for days. Here's to the kids who are different, the kids they call crazy or dumb, the kids who don't fit, with the guts and the grit to dance to a different drum. Here's to the kids who are different, the kids with the mischievous streak, for when they have grown, as history is shown, their difference is what makes them unique. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next presenter is Dr. Bob Basil. Dr. Basil is a clinical psychologist who is a partner at the Highview Center, a holistic health center in Middletown. For 20 years, he directed the Mental Health and Deafness program at the Ellis Human Development Institute of the School of Professional Psychology at Wright State University. He has served as the clinical director of comprehensive counseling service in Middletown, and we have Bob's topic being challenges facing gifted teens with ADHD and other disorders. Dr. Basil.
I also will add my support for Schilling. I'm very, very grateful for all the programs that support these kids because we do see them in regular schools that some of them are quite severely struggling to be understood. Okay, we were talking about ADD, and I heard my colleague say, yeah, boy, that's something they all have worked with. All kids seem like they have ADD. Well, I mean, at least compared to adults. All kids are more distractible, all kids are more impulsive, all kids have a harder time waiting than adults do. So these kids are not necessarily different, but they are more so. It is not cancer, so they don't die. So don't have to worry. But it is incredibly frustrating. We've always had ADHD and ADD around, I believe. Some of you guys are my age, right? Do you remember Sound of Music? Please tell me the good headlines. Remember how do you solve a problem like Maria? Why was Maria a problem? She was a whirlwind. She was a wave upon the sand. I think only an ADHD person takes over the Alps to get away from the Nazis. The Alps are big. You don't just walk over them. My brother's here at 90 and I hiked over there. I think all the people in New York City, they're all ADHD because you're near the airport. It's going to boat across an ocean on a big trail. So land has Indians that can kill us. You know, that's an ADHD person stay on top like that. And we've had folks who have been very famous, who in hindsight we look back and think that ADD or ADHD. Thomas Edison is reported to wear out 100 pairs of shoes in a year, sleep only 4 hours a night. Albert Einstein had one notable story where it was a nice warm day at Princeton. He walked across campus to the lecture hall. A brave student raised their hand and said, Dr. Einstein, you realize you don't have any pants on. He had boxer shorts. It was a nice warm day. He was thinking about the universe and, you know, just didn't